Attorney General Biden, what do you think is the cumulative effect now that we've had 3 debates of this process? We had, there were a couple weeks out of those conventions where it looked like it was slipping away from Mitt Romney a little bit. He brought it back with his performance in the first debate. Where are we now with all 3 in the books?
Look, running for President of the United States is earning the trust of the people in this room, of the state, of this nation. And Governor Romney last night reaffirmed the concerns the people of his home state have about it. And that's a person willing to say anything to get elected at any point. You know, when he ran against Ted Kennedy, he took a stage and tried to be more progressive than Ted Kennedy. The people of his own state know this. He's not even competing in his own state. He reaffirmed every notion people have about him, and that's not being trustworthy. He's a good man, a good husband, a good father, no doubt. But he had no conviction, no sense of purpose, no clarity on a fundamental issue of our day. We've been at war for 10 years. This will be our nation's longest war. Joe, you and me could talk about it all the time. Thank you for doing it. And he's willing to say anything about anything at any time to close the deal. This is not a sales pitch. This is running for President of the United States.
So you don't believe he wants the troops out in 2014 of Afghanistan?
I believe he wants to say whatever it takes to get him elected. That's not a president. That's not a commander-in-chief. You know, on Afghanistan, he said up until last night that it depends. It depends. On Iraq, he said that it was a tragic mistake to take our troops out of Iraq. That's what he said the entire campaign. He took the stage and tried to be more conservative than, he's the only person I've ever seen that's actually taken 2 stages, try to be more progressive than Ted Kennedy 20 years ago, and more right-wing than Newt Gingrich. I mean, running for president is about earning the trust of the Republicans, Democrats, Independents in this state and Ohio. People want a person with conviction, say what they mean what they say. He says whatever is expedient at the moment.
So General, what's your sense? What's your sense, given the background?
By the way, Willie, we've got a lot of uncommitted voters in this room. Go ahead, Mike.
Given your sense,
there's some Republicans here. I saw the reaction to John McCain.
Yeah, they're in the kitchen, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Washing the dishes.
Yeah. What's your sense, given some of the exchanges we've seen here this morning and that we witnessed last night during the debate, the back and forth between the governor and the president? Can you place it in the context of the President of the United States is Commander-in-Chief? Your father is the Vice President of the United States, long-standing member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. In the context of who they are and Governor Romney the challenger, how much of it is personal in the sense that the president is the guy thinking, you know, I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm called. You know, I see these intel reports. This guy has seen some of them. I can't, what's the deal? What's going on here between the two of us?
Look, I don't think this is personal. The President of the United States...
You don't?
No, I don't. Look, this is too important. This has been our nation's longest war. And, Governor Romney and Paul Ryan, good guys. The least experienced ticket on foreign policy in my lifetime. Both of them have 0 foreign policy experience. 0. So then you have to look to who their advisors are. Their advisors are the very people that Joe spends most of his mornings railing against. The very people that got us into the problems we've gotten into over the last decade. So I'm very interested to see John Bolton getting up this morning, whether or not he must have wondered what the hell's going on. I mean, he literally disavowed everything he's been talking about for the last 14 months, the last 6 years he's been running for president. It's remarkable. Now, the American people, citizens of Ohio, they know authenticity. They know what conviction. They know purpose. And that's what you saw last night. You saw Governor Romney play to type, and that is a person willing to say anything that is expedient for the moment.
John Hyland, what do you think?
I just think this doesn't seem that confusing to me. I guess I'm sort of with Mika and General Biden here. Joe, you're totally right. Candidates from both parties go to their extremes and then gradually drift back to the center over the course of campaigns. Governor Romney it's really audacious what he's tried to do in this last month to make the switch this late.
Of hope, right?
The audacity of etch.
Of etch, okay.
We rightly criticize President Obama for not nailing him on that and being more aggressive and being more confrontational and trying to hold his feet to the fire in the first debate in Denver. That was a large part of his failing. He failed on multiple levels, but he really failed to do that. So it doesn't surprise me at all that in this debate he's now trying to make that argument and just sort of say, wait a second, this is, you can't just in the last month become a totally new Mitt Romney without somebody calling you on that.